This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2021 Honda Odyssey Elite. Up front is a 3.5 liter V6, down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving the Honda Odyssey Elite because it's an Elite. The Elite is the top trim level of the Honda Odyssey. Now before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. But let's get back to that 3.5 liter V6. Well, the nice thing is that Honda has been using this motor forever. It's a J-Series engine from Honda, 3.5 liter. I mean, this traces back to the Honda Odysseys of the late 90s. Similarly, of course, they've been updated and changed, but it really gets its roots back in the 90s. You'll find Acura TLXs with this motor. You'll find Honda Accords with this motor. You'll find Honda Ridgelines with this motor. You'll find, of course, other Honda Odysseys with this motor. It's a very, very thorough and work-through engine. And the reason I bring that up is because you don't have to worry about this engine or engine issues. It has millions, if not billions of miles worth of R&D put into this. Any issue that comes up with your engine, there's a known fix for. And that's really, really nice. People always say, oh, you know, that's an outdated engine. It's from the late 90s, early 2000s. But it's modern enough to actually still be reliable, still be good, still make good power. Makes about 280 horsepower, which is nothing to thumb your nose at. That's a lot of horsepower for a minivan. I mean, let's be honest here. And it doesn't absolutely murder the gas mileage. I will put the fuel economy up on the screen as well for those of you interested. So with that being said, I am a big fan of the 3.5 liter. Like I said, paired to an automatic transmission, 10-speed, it shifts, it's fine. I haven't noticed any weird quirks about it. It's nice and smooth. It's a 10-speed auto. Of course, it's modern. It's very fresh. That is modern. You know, the old Odysseys used to be 4 speeds and then 6 speeds, and now they're 10-speed, and they're nice and smooth and modern and crisp, and I like that a lot. Last but not least, the Honda Odyssey is front-wheel drive. There is no all-wheel drive version offered. Again, the competitor, the Toyota Sienna, actually does get all-wheel drive as an option. So if that's something you absolutely need, I would look at the Sienna. However, before you look at the Sienna, there are a couple things that I think you might like about the Odyssey. With that being said, let's talk about the good stuff, which is the interior. This interior is really, really cool, really packed with fun features, and I'm very, very excited about it. Well, in front of me, I have 2 physical gauges and a screen. On the left is my coolant temperature, and on the right is my fuel. Again, like all modern Hondas, they kind of look like health bars in a video game. A little bit less so than the Honda Civic, but I still like the look of them. They look very fresh and new. In the center, I get a nice screen. I absolutely love this because it gives me a bunch of different options when it comes to what I want to see. Right now I'm looking at the tachometer up at the top, speed in digits. It actually gives me the miles per hour of the current street that I'm on, as well as I just have a compass set. But I will scroll through all of the different options you can do here on this center screen, and I absolutely love this. It's a screen. It should be able to switch to whatever I want it to be. It's essentially no different than my iPhone. I should be able to play Angry Birds on my center screen. Now, I can't, and for safety reasons, I shouldn't, but you get what I'm saying. It should be very customizable, and I'm very, very happy to say that the Honda Odyssey is very customizable, and I like that a lot. That's a big selling point for me. On the steering wheel, not only do I have paddle shifters on the back, but on the left, I have my controls for that center screen, volume, voice commands, back and home button, and on the right I have my radar cruise options as well as my heated steering wheel. So this is outfitted with radar cruise. I absolutely love that. Most modern Hondas are. The Civic gets it at the very base level, which is great. And of course, this is a Honda Odyssey. This is made for road trips. This is made for practice. You know, you're going to a far away game with your kids. Set that radar cruise, set it and forget it, and then you can worry about them not spilling in the back or whatever it is. But the Honda Odyssey actually has more tools for that, and I'll talk about that in a second. The steering wheel feels nice, leather wrapped, feels good in my hands, and right now I just turned on that heated steering wheel. It is 28 degrees out here in Joliet, Illinois. It's actually Joliet, but my grandpa always says Joliet. Not sure why. To the left of me, I have a bunch of different buttons. First of all, I have my open and close buttons for the rear power doors. I can also lock those out, which is very, very nice. Then I have my tailgate button, traction control, my parking sensors, and my bubble button. I call this the bubble button in modern cars. This turns off or on all of these safety features. Blind spot monitoring, cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, all that stuff is actually run through one button, which I really, really like. Down below that, power parking brake, and this is actually where you'll find the brake hold button. Normally the brake hold is in the center console of most modern cars, but it's over here on the Odyssey. Getting over to the door, we have memory seats. That is an Elite option. Then I have my power windows, power mirrors, and power locks on the door as well. Very, very nice there. All the features that I could ever want. Moving into the center, I do have a display that is touchscreen, has the Honda Link system, but most importantly, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, great. That's great. I always rant about it, but I frankly don't have time in this video because there's so much cool stuff to go through in this center screen. So let's go home. And I'm looking at a very colorful home screen, which I really, really like. A lot of home screens are just 1, 2, or 3 colors, and I don't like that. This is very, very colorful, and I just enjoy looking at it. But I do have navigation, phone, rear entertainment. So we can click on rear entertainment, and I have a how much further button, which this will actually tell your rear occupants how much longer you have to go. This is great. It's a little gimmicky because you can just turn around and tell them, but I really, really like that. It sort of squashes that age-old question of the, are we there yet? I absolutely love that. Down below that, I also have something called Cabin Talk. So in the same light of are we there yet, I can hit this and I can talk. There's actually a microphone positioned here by the driver's seat, and I can boost my voice into the back seats. So they can either hear me over their movie that they're watching, which we'll get to in a second, or I can actually pipe it into their headphones. So there are headphones for the back. And so if they have their headphones on, they're engaged in the movie, and you can say, hey, does anyone want lunch? You don't have to try to get their attention while driving, start waving and doing all this crazy stuff. You could just hit Cabin Talk and say, hey, we're going to stop for lunch. What do you guys want? And then they can, reply. That is absolutely cool. Really, really fun there. I can disable or enable their remote back there. So I can take away those privileges, the modern version of I will turn this car around, or I can turn on and off their rear entertainment. No, boom, turn it off. See how you like that now. I love that. That can all be run through this center screen. But we're not done yet. Go back to home here. Go over from Apple CarPlay. I have more trip computer messages, Sirius XM, USB, system updates, blah, blah, blah. No one cares. But scroll one more and we have a big button for Cabin Talk, which is nice, but Cabin Watch. That's right. There is a camera in the back seat of the Honda Odyssey. So you can keep an eye on someone and be like, hey, stop poking your sister. This is so great. And I can just leave this up. So I'm driving and I could just keep an eye on the back seat. That is great because in the past, I just had to rely on my rear view mirror. Well, not anymore. I can just keep a thorough eye on the back seat with a nice, decent resolution camera. It's not a red 8K camera, but it's still a nice wide angle lens and I can see everyone in the back seats. And I like that a lot. That is a huge, huge feature for the Honda Odyssey, and Honda really knows their target audience because it's families. And families like to keep an eye on their kids. Then, of course, I have clock, my Honda Music, things like that.
One thing I'd like to mention about the backup camera is actually when you put it into reverse here, you have a bunch of different options for how you want to see the camera. This is looking directly down at the ground. This is looking behind us. This is more of a fisheye looking behind us. As you can see more of the parking lot as opposed to this. You can't see the corners of the grass. Now you can see the corners of the grass, very nice. As well as I can toggle this side section on and off. These are my parking beepers. I can turn those on and off if I'd like. If I want just the full screen, or if I want those on screen, I can choose whatever I want. That is very, very nice. Very customizable backup camera, and that makes a huge difference with the visibility of the Odyssey.
But that's really it for the center screen. I know that was a lot, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. And I'm really, really excited about that. And that's probably my favorite part of the Honda Odyssey is that center screen. Down below the center screen, we do have climate controls. I have defrosting mirrors and dual zone climate and front climate and rear climate and all of these great options. Down below that, I do have heated and cooled seats for the front occupants. So heated and ventilated, very, very nice. I have my automatic start stop on and off, my snow button, my econ button, and on the right side, I just have my hazards and the passenger airbag warning. Then in the middle, this is where you find the shifter. The shifter is just a sequence of buttons. And when I first drove a Honda Passport with this, I thought that this was weird. However, I've actually grown accustomed to it and actually kind of like the buttons. They're very simple, very easy to hit, very easy to see, and overall they function really, really well. Down below all of that, I actually do have a disc drive and a Blu-ray player. So we'll talk about it in the back in a little bit, but we do have a Blu-ray player in the back seat for rear occupants, and I absolutely love that. Great, great, great. And this is where you'll put that Blu-ray disc in. Then I have a USB charger, a wall outlet, an American Standard wall outlet, which is fantastic. And I have a typical cigarette lighter 12-volt outlet. Really great features. I mean, this is just a road trip machine, this thing, and I absolutely love it. Moving into the actual center console, I do have 2 cup holders and a wireless charging pad, which is very, very nice. I think that's a great option, especially for someone who's riding in the passenger seat. They can just lay their phone into the center and it'll start charging. Very, very smart. The seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, they are heated, memory, power, cooled, tons of stuff. I mean, they're very, very comfortable. This thing is going to soak up the miles without too much fret, and it doesn't hurt my back. It's easy to get into, and I have this nice folding armrest on the side of it, which is very, very nice. But speaking of seats, we do have 2 more back rows of seats, so let's talk about those. Well, since I've never had a car with this feature, I decided to not remount the GoPro and to just use this cabin watch as my review camera. I figured why not? It's kind of a cool feature, and you can kind of see what it looks like to have a person in the back. So back here in the Honda Odyssey, a couple things. First of all, on the door here, I do have a power open and close button, as well as a vent right below it, which is nice. I do have a infotainment screen. Okay, that's really cool. So I just opened up the infotainment screen, and it actually has like a little Honda Odyssey driving on a road, but it looks like an old like a puppet show or something, which is really, really cool. And it has a little Odyssey on it. I absolutely love that. Super cool. Over here on the right, I do have my heating and air conditioning options for this back row. And if you'll notice here, this is a middle jump seat. This can actually be removed. So the 2 outside seats are actually full captain's chairs, and this seat can actually be removed. As well as, once this seat is removed, these 2 seats can actually slide left or right. So if I want this chair to come over and be touching this chair and open up actually like an aisle for people to get into the back, I can do that. If I want to take this chair out and move this chair over, I can do that. Really, really nice feature in that respect, and I like the customization of these back seats. Now, before I jump in the back, I really want to try something. Whoa, I got a big forehead. Whoa. Now I will jump into the back. So one thing I actually forgot about the second row, now that I'm back here, I can see it. I do have an HDMI in, as well as 2 USB chargers down on the center console, as well as this center console here will actually fold down, and I can use this as 3 different cup holders and a little cubby hole, or a little cubby tray for the second row. But now that we're back in the third row, first of all, I fit like a normal human being, which is absolutely great. On the door here, I have a USB charger for either side, which is fantastic. And I have headphone inputs on either side, aux inputs for headphones that I can change the volume of on the door here as well. And I have this nice little sunshade I can put up, which I do have sunshades for the second row as well. Besides that, nothing really too interesting back here. There is technically a third seat back here in the middle, which is very, very nice. And overall, I can sit back here like a normal adult and not be squished. This headroom back here is fantastic. My knees aren't hitting the front seat at all. I've reviewed a lot of 3-row SUVs recently. 2021 Kia Sorento, Mazda CX-9, Subaru Ascent. This back seat makes me feel the most adult. This back seat makes me feel normal. It makes me feel like an actual person, and I like that a lot. It's actually a normal back seat. If I had to sit back here for 18 hours driving out to Nevada or whatever, I can easily do that back here. That's no sweat for me. I really, really like that. I forgot to mention, I don't know why, but I do have 2 cup holders on either side too. So each person back here can have 2 drinks. 2 drinks. All right, now we'll talk about the cargo space behind this third row. All right, so we're on the back of the 2021 Honda Odyssey Elite. Power tailgate button right there. And you get this nice area for the seats to actually fold down into. These actually do, as stated right there, they actually fold down into this compartment. But when the seats are up, you get this nice and deep storage area. I also... No! I've never used this before. Hold on. Oh, God, I forgot about this. It actually has a vacuum. This is a working vacuum. Oh. That is cool. That is very, very cool. It has a vacuum built into the back. And you get this extra little nozzle. Wow. I never thought I'd be so excited about a vacuum. This is where you can empty the bag and things like that. So, really cool. Of course, 12-volt outlet. This is all I care about in brand new cars, is that they have a 12-volt outlet back here. Very, very good. Very, very smart. I like this a lot. That vacuum, oh, so cool. Now we got to talk about the looks. I don't really have any strong feelings about the Honda Odyssey's looks, and that's good. I think it's a decent looking minivan. I don't think it's going to win any design contest awards, but I also don't think it's ugly. And it's something that I could go out into my garage every morning and look at and say, hey, that's my minivan. And feel proud and not feel like, ugh, why did I buy this? The looks are good enough for me, and they're good enough for a minivan. I don't think there's any minivan that's particularly stellar looking. But with all of that being said, what are my final thoughts on the Honda Odyssey Elite? Well, let's take into account, first of all, the fact that this is the Elite. This is the top trim, and with taxes and plates, you're looking at $50,000. $50,000. And I've actually reviewed a fair amount of $50,000 vehicles this year. And in all honesty, this feels the most worth it. This feels like the most justified $50,000 price tag I've driven this year. And the reason I say that is because of the target audience of the Honda Odyssey. People who buy Honda Odysseys, they have families. They go on road trips. They drive to 8 different practices a week. There's oboe practice and soccer practice and football and baseball and recitals and chess club. This vehicle is a tool. It gets used a lot. Grandma lives in Oklahoma and we live in Michigan. Time to pack up and we got to drive the 15 hours so we can have her baked goods and try to play with her half-alive dog. All right, let's hop in the Honda Odyssey. That's what this car is for. It's for visiting far relatives, it's for getting places. And so that's why I feel like this is worth the $50,000, because you're going to be using it a lot. You know, people always say you should never cheap out on a mattress because you spend a third of your life asleep. Well, in that same argument, I think you should never cheap out on your car. At this day and age, at least with my job, I easily spend a third of my life in the car. You're going to spend a lot of time in your Honda Odyssey. That's what these were for. These aren't quick little commuter cars. If you buy a Honda Odyssey as a commuter car with no family, you're probably also on some government watch list. That's weird. I don't know why you would buy a Honda Odyssey without a family. And so my point being is that if you're buying one of these, you have a family, you're going to spend a lot of time in here. This is your mobile office. This is your mobile first aid tent. This is your mobile hotel room. And so because this car has so many hats that it wears, I think it truly justifies the $50,000. I really do. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Francisco from Honda of Joliet. His information is up on the screen. He's a salesman there. He's absolutely awesome. And the nice thing about Francisco is the fact that he is a car guy. I reviewed his Evo 8 a couple years ago, a car that was absolutely amazing to drive. He actually has another new one now. And the reason I bring that up is because he is a car guy. He's a car enthusiast. Him and I share a love of cars. He actually just went out and got a real job, unlike me. And so he's not selling cars just to get a paycheck at the end of the week. He's selling cars because he really truly believes in the product. He loves cars. He loves being around cars. And so he will find you the right car. So please contact him. His information is linked down below as well as up on the screen. Really, honestly, just a true, honest guy. And I really, really appreciate that. And that's hard to find in modern car salesmen, is true, honest people. And Francisco's one of the few. So please go check him out. Helping him is helping me. And I appreciate that very, very much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.